So I've been coming to Colin's program year after year without fail because of one thing. There's always something new that he has to share with us, and you always have something to take away that can use to level up your program. And I think it's very hard to find such ideas within our island because most of us, we have been trained with very limited imagination because Singapore itself is very space constrained, and the way we learn is very one-dimensional for most teachings. So he come here to really shatter all our beliefs that in fact we can explore many possibilities here in Singapore despite all the limitation. And I have been experimenting a lot with his ideas, and it has gotten amazing reception from my clients, my students. They say it's very interactive, it's very reflective, and the retention, the takeaways are much more personal, much more powerful. So I feel that folks who want to introduce something original, they want to stand out from the crowd in terms of their conduct or delivery of their programs, they need to see this because it's very, very different from what they have been doing. They're going to be deploying things which are using the space, very simple things like how you arrange your tools, how you arrange your space, the lighting, the conversation, the keywords, prompts, all the small details and nuances can have a big impact on the outcome of your programs. And he has a very sharp eye for all this, and if you need someone to look at how you will design your programs, you need to come and talk to him and join this program.
So I have known Professor Colin for a very long time, and my experience of learning in his programs and workshops have always been very consistent. Because Professor Colin is so far the only professor of experiential learning on the planet, he comes from a very purist perspective, and so what I always get from his sessions is the experience and the idea of how experiential learning could really be like from his purest form. And because he is both a practitioner and an academic, he's very succinct, in building the practice, in between the theory and the application of what it actually means to have as in the experience of experiential learning in any kind of programs that we can potentially run. Let's pause there. So I have been practicing experiential learning for many years in my work, and I am at that stage in my own mastery of the method that I am able to marry pure experiential learning into my work, which is organizational development work, systems intervention work, and in leadership development. So the marrying of the different methodologies in terms of how I apply it, through Professor Colin's support, right? It helps me to build that academic and principle-based background, on how to actually apply it in a way that it is most effective. It offers me the thinking regime in terms of how to actually design the program even better, to create the exact outcomes that I really want.
Hello guys. Alright, so I just want to say that Prof. Colin's program has been amazing for me. I didn't sleep and in fact my mind kept active because it's a lot of really connecting the dots, especially in the concept of designing the experience. And one of the things that I really find it very affirming is about letting the learners do the learning, and how important it is for the learners themselves to experience that process instead of only us telling a lot of didactic teaching for them to even grasp these concepts. And I think it's also important for us designers to learn how to deconstruct and create they call it a choreography of each segment so that it can flow nicely from one segment to another. So in fact, in whatever that I'm doing, it relates a lot because every time we meet different learners, different people that we meet along the way through our sessions in training or facilitation, it's always different. So how do we make it easy for the learners to understand? And in fact, the impactful part about the program, I even appreciated how the history of experiential learning itself has a lot of connection to what I'm doing today, especially the communities that I care for, such as the women and also children themselves. Yeah, so I think next round, guys, if this session does happen, you all need to sign up. All right, whether are you educators, whether are you trainers, facilitators, even yourselves who are learning, wanting to know about what experiential learning is. So that itself will be very helpful if that is something that you want to start in the near future. Okay, that's from me.
Attending Prof. Colin's workshop actually opened my mind to many possibilities of how I can be more engaging and enriching in the classroom using the experiential learning, thinking and encapsulating the different aspects of how I can keep the students more engaged and active in their learning. Right? So that actually helps me because as a student development officer, it helps me develop new possibilities or workshops to actually target certain aspects. As the workshop was going on, I was thinking how I can apply some of these techniques into what I've already planned to do in this year. So then actually that opens up a whole new possibility to make it more useful for the student.
Experiential learning is not new. I have been experiencing this, I've experienced this as an educator, but going through Professor Beard's workshop has changed my perspective about experiential learning. And it has added many new dimensions to what I could do in my classroom with my students. So I'm very grateful for the insights that he has provided and the various methodologies that he has introduced, as part of the workshop. So I think this is so meaningful that every educator must go through this workshop at least once to experience what wonders you can do in the classroom.
I find Prof. Colin's experiential learning program is fantastic. He not only gives us the theoretical underpinning of his holistic model, he demonstrates how this model being put together, and in each of the stages he will also show us how he unfolds it, which is really, I find it such an amazing experience for me as an educator in the Polytechnic, where experiential learning plays a key part for our student training. Thank you so much, Prof. Colin.
Hi, I'm Ibnor. I'm from Guild Asia, and we focus on growing grounded innovators, right, especially in schools. And attending Prof. Colin Beard's class has made me rethink the way we approach education, especially maker education and STEAM-based education. There's a lot of theories out there, but I found his methods and techniques very easy to follow. There's 14 learning experience design principles, which I can literally go through one by one and apply it according to the context of my classes. And the other thing which I really appreciate about Prof is that he will actually review the class as well as check our understanding. And I think that's something which I appreciate a lot about a trainer, a teacher who actually kind of like pays a lot of attention to your development as a trainer, which I really appreciate. So thanks so much for that whole experience.
Hi, my name is Marian and I'm a learning experience designer from Plexium and Creator, and our work involves empowering youths in finding their passion and purpose. And one of the major job scope that I have would be to curate learning experiences for all our youth, even as we work together with schools. Usually I'll be involved in curating the whole lesson flow and also the whole learning experience that the learners will experience, as well as the different resources as well. So going for Professor Colin's course was really very enlightening. I thought it was very interesting how he shared that creating a learning experience is choreographing a space for them and being intentional about it. That there's the start, there's the middle, and there's the end. I've never thought of creating learning experiences in such a way whereby it's like a dance where there is flow, where you think about what the learners would feel. So I thought that was something that will really blew my mind away. And another perspective was also how he shared, let learners do the work. When I first heard it, I was like, what? Let learners do the work? Because I'm the one designing, right? Shouldn't we, like the instructors and trainers, be the one delivering and really ensuring that the learners get it across and being in control of it? But I think something that he shared that was interesting was how a lot of times as designers, choreographers, we do the work. We should already be doing the work at the start. And when we are at the class, that's when we let the learners do the work, to let them experience the learning and not just it be a downloading of information. So I thought that was a really very interesting mindset. There were interesting mindsets that were really elevated my thinking about how I would think about choreographing the learning experience that I would want my learners to experience as well. So I'm just really very grateful for this opportunity to be able to go for this course, and I look forward to more of it. Yay!
As a trainer, I'm always on the lookout of how to make learning come truly alive and whole human for the participants I have in the room. I think this experiential learning program really checked the boxes for me in terms of giving me new concepts, new frameworks, new skills, new complexities to bring such experiential learning to my participants.
Hi, this is Rachna. I'm from an Institute of Higher Learning, and I take care of the programs and partnership portfolio. Attending Dr. Colin Beard's workshop has been very insightful. Previous to this, I had a very different understanding of what experiential learning is. But going through the workshop, going through his different models and the 7 dimensions, I realized that there's much more to experiential learning, and in fact the holistic way of looking at experiential learning. I've gone through many methods, many strategies that I could actually use in my classroom. So, and what I like about Colin Beard is that he really likes to deconstruct the very complex theories that he has to the core, and that helps us to remember the concepts very clearly. And we can, it's also easy to recap. So I would suggest that, this is a course that every educator should go through in order to make a difference in the classroom. Thank you.